You set your lighting. This is going to be my stand-in. It's a broom with a smiley face. It's going to be in place where I have lit the subject, where I would normally stand, and I'd be here, lit. Now, once you have that set up, take a gray card. Put your gray card where all your lights come and where your focus is going to be. This is where you want the light to be accurate. Not here, where the lighting changes, or back here. There's less light hitting it. This is your subject. Now, when you're shooting video, you want to first select what frame rate you want to shoot at. If you want this to be 30 frames a second, which is more like a product video, or a concert, I guess, or 24 frames a second. We're going to shoot, just for the sake of this video, in 1080p, 30 frames a second. That's the first thing you need to decide, whether it's 24 frames or 30 frames. I'm doing 30 frames a second. 30 frames automatically dictates what your shutter is going to be at. 30 frames, you double your frame rate. So 30 frames a second turns into 60 shutter. I'm currently at 160, down to 60. That obviously brighten things up. Now you have your frame rate and your shutter dialed in. Take a gray card, stick it in front of your camera. You halfway push down the button to take a photograph. Your light meter lights up. It's saying right now, as it stands with ISO 1000 and your aperture at 5.0, it's too bright. You need to bring down the light coming into the camera. You can do that one of two ways. Bring down the ISO, or bring down, close the aperture on the camera. Remember, you want to keep your aperture at fixed spots. 2.8, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, all the way up. Those keep your images much more crisp. I'm going to go to 4.0 because I don't want to be extreme with 2.8 where everything's super blurry, and if the subject moves forward and backwards, it gives me a lot of problems with blurring out unnecessarily. So I'm going to change that to 4.0 or 5.6. I'll just go to 4.0. 4.0. Now I put the gray card up, halfway push down the button. It's saying it's a little too bright as it stands. ISO, bring that down to 400. Bam, perfect exposure where it is. Now that's perfect exposure. If you take your gray card once again, that's perfectly exposed. Take a picture. Go into my settings, find the white balance, use the custom key, this one here, custom, and then I need to find the image with the custom white balance. Find the image you want to use for it to use as a reference. That's the last picture I took. Click OK. Bam. Perfect exposure in the lighting I'm at, perfect color, true to life, using a gray card.